Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Null Zone. This is the Target Zone Talks, and we're here to talk about character options, Ruby, Sunday, and of course, the Fugitive Doctor. Just real quickly on the Fugitive Doctor character options, will be releasing a TARDIS and Doll set. Joe Martin did a video as well, unboxing. Her her character and basically saying that she was official. But then we move on to obviously Doctor Who was back on our screens, as you know, and we have suspected, especially us on this side of the fandom, that with the show being Disney-fied, there are plenty of opportunities for BBC, Bad Wolf Studios, and Disney to make some money on merchandise. And it seems they're going ahead with some merchandise. There's been talks of a Beat the Meat plushie, which apparently has been confirmed, and other stuff. But what hasn't been confirmed, apparently, and what was supposed to happen was a Ruby Sunday doll was supposed to be getting created by Character Options. And apparently, this isn't happening now. And I have a screenshot, so I'll throw it up on the screen here for you to see what I am talking about. And then I've got something else then to show you. So, the Ruby Sunday Millie Gibson action figure might not be produced. Make your voices heard to at Character Options Toys UK. That there is a high demand for Ruby Sunday figure. We must make this happen. Day one of lobbying. Retweet the show. Show your support. And the source of that article apparently is bleeding cool. But Character Options Toys UK group or something put this tweet out. Now, I did make the point yesterday. How can you claim that there's a high demand for Ruby Sunday when we've only seen her once in the show? I do not believe there is a high demand. High demand is only created, obviously, after we get to see more of the character, if people love the character. So I think that these people here behind this whole campaign, lobbying campaign, are actually living in cloud nine. We won't know how popular her character is until we actually see more of her character. So I would disagree with people saying that there is a high demand for the Ruby Sunday action figure. I do not believe that for 1 second. But this news comes in the light of the recent news that Millie Gibson will be replaced on the show. And I'm actually sitting here and I am baffled. I've got to be honest. Because while my first impressions of Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday are mixed, and they are mixed, I've got to be honest. I haven't warmed to her like I've warmed to other companions, but there definitely is chemistry there between herself and Ncuti Gatwa. And I think the best companion Doctor duos were always the ones with the best chemistry. And I say the pinnacle of that was Catherine Tate and David Tennant's Doctor. Donna Noble and the Doctor. That was absolutely, nailed on how a companion and Doctor should be. But this, if true, this action figure, it's another snub of Millie Gibson. Now, I brought this up last year, and of course, I brought it up again when we found out that she might be getting replaced and stuff like that. And then I start getting stick. It's not my fault that the media branded her a diva back in 2023. I think it was June or July in 2023. You'll have to go back and watch my other stream on it. But it was either June or July. Apparently, she didn't like night shoots and stuff like that. Now, I know as well as anybody else, being involved in the, rumor mill and putting out information, that, you'll always get conflicting stories and stuff like that. But then you look at the fact that she has been now replaced, and it looks like it's only a matter of time before it's official. Um, all the media now reporting on it. It is a sad situation. Though I do believe we needed a settled team for this era. But I'm not running the show, so what do I know? I suppose that's just the way I'll put it. But there is a second part to this. So as you can see, they put up the picture of the alleged doll, which I just showed you on screen there. But this was also written beside it. So I'll read this out. This might make some sense to some people. As you know, I'm only getting back into the full swing of all of this Doctor Who stuff. We used to do all of this stuff all the time, so I'm catching up. But we will get there, and obviously by the time the series comes along, we'll be well caught up and stuff like that, and then we'll be on point. So, and Doctor Who, they had a shelf, but I was told by wonderful character options rep that this was the no photo area. They featured figures of the 15th Doctor as portrayed by Ncuti Gatwa, his companion Ruby Sunday is portrayed by Millie Gibson, and the Wraith Warrior from the Star Beast, as originally created by Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons. Talking of which, there was also had a big plush Beep the Meep and a new Doctor Who sonic screwdriver. Now, there was a photograph that was thrown up showing I saw the sonic screwdriver. I think I saw the plushie as well, but I didn't see the Millie. They'll explain now. We're still call it a screwdriver, right? Anyway, so why no photos? Because this line isn't fixed. Character options aren't sure if they will be going with Ruby right now, given that her character seems to be out in the TV show after this season. Either way, as it stands, the situation is in flux. They love that word now, don't they? Flux, since Chibs brought it in. And no, that doesn't mean more Chibnall era characters either. And that was in relation to the fact that the Fugitive Doctor character was released by character options. Now, you can take that with a pinch of salt, but they are kind of right. The person that actually would be the expert on the character options stuff would be Ian, that we used to have on the channel here. The guy that does all the merch. He would know exactly what's going on with the merch, because he gets all of these character option stuff, and he gets the B&M sets and all of that. So he would know. So if anybody's worth listening to on this topic, it would be him. So he'd be the guy to actually question on that. But there were someone. But here's the thing. They said that there was no photos. It was a no photo area, but yet someone broke. So character options. All I'll just say is someone broke your no photo protocol, and maybe you need to be a bit more. Take people's mobile phones off them before they go into events like that. Put them behind somewhere, or put them in a little safe or something. But look, if true, it's a snub on. Look, as I said, you can't really base the popularity of a character based off one episode, like those people that are trying to lobby in character options. The bottom line is this, right? Yeah, you don't know how popular she's going to be until we see her in the first few episodes of Doctor Who. It's the new season. You have to give her time. But if she is a popular companion, of course they will release the toy. Just because she leaves the show doesn't mean that they won't release the toy. Okay. Eventually, it'll probably happen. But if they are holding back on it for now, here'll be the interesting thing. Actually, this is how you'll know what there's something up, right? If they release, say, the new companion, if the new companion gets a figure before Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday, then yes, something has definitely happened. Listen, I honestly believe I've been, just because I don't talk about stuff as much as I used to, I still receive some stuff. And all I'll just say is that, the reports back in June and about her being a diva and stuff, you know, there's all I'll say is that there's something in that. Now whether it's enough to have her kicked out of the show, I don't think so. Listen, we know actors and actresses can be divas, and by the way, I'm not having a go with her being a diva. It can, you know, at the end of the day, I've kind of gotten used to the fact that there seems to be a self entitlement in our society today, and people are gonna. We see it all the time. People are getting angry and you know lashing out and demanding because of the way society is. So I'm not going to be too harsh on it, but if she has been dumped and now character, I think that's bad. I really do actually, and I don't like that. There seems to be an air of vindictiveness to it, and I don't, I wouldn't like that if that's true. Whether, as I said, I've had mixed feelings about Ruby Sunday at the moment, but I don't absolutely hate her as a companion. I mean, she has potential to become a really good companion. I just find her a little bit too gobby at the moment, to be quite honest with you. I know Catherine Tate's, companion was a bit gobby, especially in the Runaway Bride. But I think I think it was toned down by Series 4. She was still gobby, but I just feel like I'm not saying she's trying to be like Catherine Tate's character, but she just seems a little bit hyper to me. But so does Shooty's Doctor, and maybe that's the whole point. Um, but I don't know. It's a mess right now. It's a mess. It's a mess right now. I honestly look. I will say this though, and I said it to the missus, and I'll say it here. You know, if Disney have come to RTD and said, "Look, we need you to replace Millie because the American audiences, you know, don't know who she is, and you've already got someone that the Americans don't know playing the Doctor. So we need to bring someone in that everybody knows." And then of course we got she was in Andor and stuff like that. Again, I think that would be. I know that has happened on other TV shows throughout TV history. It's not uncommon to happen. But this is what I was afraid of. This is a British show, right? It's a British show. I mean, if you're gonna start putting American actors and actresses in it and start slowly but surely Americanizing it, then forget about it. It's a British show. It must have. I'm being honest, right? I don't care who you get as the supporting cast, but for me, the Doctor and companion both should be British. It's a British show after all, right? Showcases the young talent out there or the British talent, whatever, right? That's it, right? Now you can have supporting cast members that are American coming into the show and stuff like that. But if you start getting characters that were predominantly British and then changing them to American actors and actresses because you want to kind of jazz it up a bit, that's not going to go down too well with Doctor Who's fans. This is a British institution. I'm an Irish man, and I'm even saying it. Doctor Who has to stay British at its core. That's what makes this show unique as well. Hate to say it, but it's the truth, right? That Britishness gives it that unique. That's why that's why Doctor Who's so unique, man. That's why it was. This is why it is an institution. It's different to anything else out there. So that's it, really. It's I just thought, I was told that this whole news with Millie Gibson wasn't supposed to get out yet, um, because the feeling was that they were going to wait. Um, but someone has leaked it because someone needs attention. But someone leaked it and it's out there now. All I could say is I kind of really do feel sorry for Millie Gibson right now, because obviously she's going to be reading all the news reports about how she was dumped and how she's this, that, and the other, and you know she can't say anything right now, right? But the first indication that I got that there was something that she was off was when she did that interview and said she could audition for roles again. Why would you say that if you were working on Doctor Who? You know, so it's just I don't know. Look, this could be all innocent, and it was always the plan, and blah blah blah. According to some, that it was always the plan. I doubt that very much. Look, I'm in this fandom long enough, but I'm doing this long enough to know that it's never as straightforward as that. And I do believe that there has been some things that have been going on behind the scenes as well. And Disney like to have this kind of clean cut image as well, which we know is a lot of bull. But they do like to portray themselves as having this clean cut image, and people don't realize that everything an actor and actress does is scrutinized, including social medias and stuff like that. Disney have probably taken a look and probably don't like what they say, which is which wouldn't bother the British people if Doctor Who was being run properly by the BBC. Then we wouldn't have this issue. But there you go. Look, this Disney thing, the Disney money, I was always in favor of if they didn't have any input. But we kind of knew, didn't we? Because even though I said, when they said to us directly, actually, that Disney wouldn't have any input, I thought that was it, right? That's laid to bed now. We can move on. They're just funding it and they're just distributing it. But it turned out that they were lying, and if they're capable of doing that, they're capable of doing that. And listen, we've already known that they've interfered with the Christmas special as well. They wanted the Doctor to appear sooner in the episode, so RTD created another scene just to introduce the Doctor a little sooner. So we know that they're actually, creatively button heads with RTD. And I wouldn't say all the changes are all him, but at the same time, he put himself in that position anyway. You should have just took it when you did the deal with BBC, yourself and BBC. That's it, right? And obviously, you had Sony money behind you if you wanted Sony, but you could have got Sony in on it and just said to Sony, "Look, we're still control, but like basically, we'd like you to distribute it." Blah 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 blah. Could have done something there, but look, we'll find out if there's any more on Millie. Of course, she has been trending, believe it or not. Um, Ruby Sunday and Millie Gibson. Um, and there does seem to be um, a bit of noise around a character. But we've got obviously people giving their opinion. So there is, see, they've released photographs. So whoever's releasing these photographs after they were told that they weren't to take photographs. Um, so her figure is there. I could see her figure right here, right? But what they're saying is basically it's not set in stone, but this is what the figure could look like. It's like a showcase thing. So, so yeah. And the thing about it is, apparently she won't be returning. So there'll be a Wraith Warrior, there'll be Shooty Gatwa's Doctor, and I can see the Millie Gibson figure there as well. But what they're saying is that that probably won't be created. And then, of course, you got, yeah, it says there, subject to final licensor approval. So it's up to basically BBC and Disney and all of those. So we've got the Sonic remote control. They're still calling it a Sonic screwdriver. I don't know why. But whoever took these photographs has actually broken character options rules because it clearly stated that they weren't to be taking photographs of the merchandise. So they actually so whoever you invited in to this showcase, you need to be very mindful who you're bringing in because they've leaked it all online. And this is why these fans do what they do, folks. You know, they get close to the production team and all of this, and then they hope to, you know, be invited to these little events then, and then they start sending photographs secretly to their friends, and then someone ends up leaking it. And that's what happens. But anyway, we'll see if there's any more on Millie Gibson, her departure from Doctor Who, or not departure from Doctor Who. But I have to be honest, it's happening because you know people give the Mirror a stick, but as I've said, the Mirror, especially when it comes to reporting Doctor Who, are normally pretty much on the nose when it comes to stuff like this. And they've brought, listen, you know, everybody was criticizing the Mirror when the Mirror reported Jodie Whittaker was leaving, and then all the other media on the other side were calling them out and calling them liars, and it transpired to be the truth. They've gotten so many big calls on the Mirror. They've got some great sources there, got to be honest, and they do bring you Doctor Who fans the news. You know, I don't buy newspapers anymore, right? There used to be a time where, because I used, you know, during the summer when I was growing up as a kid, you know, I do milk round, and then one year I did the newspapers, and I do the newspapers on a Sunday, so I get all the Sunday newspapers, and then as I got older, obviously I, you know, in my dad's house, he gets all the Sunday newspapers, so I kind of carried on that tradition then when I was living on my own, got all the Sunday newspapers, but I don't buy a newspaper anymore. But if I was to buy a newspaper because I know there's Doctor Who information on it, the newspaper that I am buying is the Mirror, um, because they're the only legit source, in my opinion. So that's just how I feel about it. And to be quite honest with you, looking at what they've done over the last 5 6 years, I would say it's a proper assessment to be making. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But if any more news comes up on Millie Gibson's departure of on the show, I will let you know, of course. Thank you for watching. I will have another one of these little pre-record plays today at some stage. So look out for that, guys. And I will talk to you all very soon. Have a good one, folks. Thanks for watching.